So, like, speaking of USA versus England, I mean, you spent half your life in Liverpool, half your life here, roughly, going back and forth. What do you think the biggest differences are? You mentioned some of them. Why are we struggling, meaning U.S. soccer in general, and, like, what do you think needs to change?
Well, you know, my biggest concern for the federation, the US Federation, is everything's the same. So the federation determined to the academy clubs, if they're the so-called best clubs now, they determine to the academy clubs how they want them to play and all this stuff. The FA in England doesn't deter to the academies how they play. Everybody in America plays 4-3-3, right?
Yep.
It's the same.
Yeah.
You're trying to create individual soccer players, individual excellence, or we're trying to create robots. Big difference is, there's over 100 professional clubs in England. Over 100. Back in the day it was 96, now in the football conference I think there's another 14, 15 clubs, so you're looking at 110, 111 professional clubs just in England. Well, England is the same size as New Jersey, give or take.
Yeah.
Right? So, in that country, it's the same size as New Jersey, give or take. You've got 110 professional clubs. Out of that 110 professional clubs, each year at 16 years old, they take 8 players on. 9 players on, whatever it is. And they start them kids in the academies now at 6 years old, training them. So when you look at that and then you look how big America is, and I think right now, the US is up to 50 professional clubs with MLS and USL, which are all year round, 50 clubs now. But then they have the draft, and only so many kids go in the draft. It's mind-boggling to me that a country so big has half the amount of professional teams that England does.
Yeah.
And again, because there's so much money in soccer in England, the television deal now, the Premier League, $4.6 billion. The clubs get that money, they put into the academy systems to run an academy back in England. Liverpool, they're just building a new academy for 50 million. How can people compete with that television money? So again, I think there's a lot of aspects. One is, I think the federation are trying to mandate too many things, and are trying to go down a path that, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, everything's the same. I like the development academy. I like the boys. I like the girls. But they should not do the same things. The professional clubs are doing a good job in our area. The Red Bulls and Philadelphia Union. Now they're doing Philadelphia Union doing housing for kids and schooling for kids. But again, at 16 years old, you can break into the game in England. At 16 you leave school, you can be an apprentice. The guys are still got to be at school at 18 here. They can't break into the game. And it's only very, very new that there's kids now at 18 going into the professional game. Yeah. So again, I think, while I think education is really, really important, them kids that go to college at 18, and you've been through the process, you can adhere to this. You're really intense through the months of July, August, September, October, November, and then it's finished.
Yeah, I mean, I went through the system. I went in the draft. I went 4 years college, taken in the draft, joined the Red Bulls. So I've been through it. Like, there's no way, if you want to be a high-level soccer player, that you can go to college. 18 to 22, that's the key. And you're literally playing soccer for maybe 4 months, and that's it.
Well, you look. Now I know there's a pilot scheme that there's some clubs in universities in North Carolina that, in ACC are doing a full year pilot.
Yeah, they're trying to.
Right? But you look, there's a kid now at Liverpool called Harvey Elliott, 16 years old, just left school. He's played in Liverpool's first team twice this year, FA Cup twice, and the League Cup. So he's played in the first team 3 times, and he's been on the bench a couple of times. He's playing U23 soccer at 16, right? He's around Mo Salah, Roberto Firmino, all these top players, Mane, Jordan Henderson, Virgil van Dijk, every day now training. Every day. There's another kid at Liverpool called Nico Williams, 18, around him every day. At 16, the guys here are still going to school. Now, I'm not saying education is not important. They're still going to school, so they've still got 2 more years. He's already training with pros and in games with them 6 days a week, 48 weeks a year, 47 weeks a year. And then times that by twice compared to a 16-year-old boy here. And then at 18, when them boys do go with the men in the college game, they only play for 4 months. Then they have to play 20 plus games in 4 months, which ruins the body. And
Absolutely.
we've had that conversation about you, how you were tired at the end, and your body was ready to shut
It's
down.
almost literally impossible to make it through a college season healthy.
Yeah, it's impossible.
Almost impossible.
And so, while the college system and the education is a massive part of it, and listen, I left school at 16, I had GCSEs and never went back to further education until I came here to do, as I said to you before, my business stuff, and I went down the soccer path. At 16 I was done with education. Why? Now it's a little different back home, where the kids are still in, when their apprentices are still doing the stuff. They have to go to certain nights a week. It's part of the FA mandated. But every day they're training. They're in the weight room, they're training. It's a job. Here it's not a job. There's certain kids now, you've got your Tyler Adams and your players like that, that are at Red Bulls, but it doesn't happen enough. And again, the best players in the US right now are not in the US, they're all in Germany.
Right, they're all gone.
They're all gone.
No one plays here.
No one's here. All the best kids are leaving at 18 and going to Germany and stuff. And, Christian Pulisic, who's probably the best US player right now, he left at 13 to go to Dortmund. So there's really...
Claudio Reyna's son's there now, right?
Yeah.
Dortmund.
They're all over in Germany. Germany have got to deal with the US players, because obviously to come to England, the US players, unless they have a passport, they've got to play so many international games and so on and so forth. But the big thing for me is, I think the development academy, the standard's really good. I watched it, but every team plays 4-3-3. They play against each other every time. It's not the game. You play in the Premier League, you play at international level, everyone plays different. Right? They have to be in different situations. So I think the federation have to stand back and they have to trust the coaches. There's a lot of things going on in the federation now and the coaching licenses about how they want the players to be coached. I can talk to you all night about that,
right.
Whether I like it, whether I agree with it or don't agree with it. I agree with some of it, I don't agree with some others. I've been through the UEFA badges. You got assessed on coaching in UEFA. If you wasn't good enough, you failed. That's not the case here. Now it's got a lot computer-based and being able to do projects. That doesn't solve the player's problem on the field. So we can speak about that all night. But I think the biggest things are the federations, where they're going with the young players. And I think at the age of 18, the college system, right? As you just said before, no good player, the best players in the world go to college and play at that level.
No.
Now the US is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, I think US has got about 21 boys now over in Germany playing, 21 young players. They've got a couple of other places in Europe. 21 players.
Yeah, it's not enough.
That's it.
It's not enough. Like, even they're making small strides, but just not big enough.
You got players that are still getting called up for the under-20s and the under-23s in the US, who are college players.
Yeah, man. I remember when I was in college, the U20 World Cup roster, say there's 28 kids on it, 26 played college. You know what I mean? Now it's less, maybe it's 8, but there shouldn't be any. You know what I mean?
I think they've got to change some of the rules as well in the MLS about homegrown players and make sure that you have them. Germany did a fantastic job of it years ago, and a lot of homegrown players come through in Germany. I think the US have got to look at that. But again, there's got to be more clubs for players to go and play at and have competitive games, because the country's so vast, and I know they're putting money into it, and I know they're trying. Again, that's, for the country, it's so vast with so much resources. Yeah. I'd like to see it fast forward a little bit.
I know.
But they're getting there. I see it when I come here and I see players now. And one of the big things, which is the big things, and same with my son who's 8 years old, everything's constructive. People don't, like when I grew up, they don't go to a field and meet and play, and they don't kick a ball around. Where I live in Wall, and I've never seen a kid kick a ball down the street. Right. Never seen a kid on the road. Right. Where I used to live in Morristown, never seen a kid. Bridgewater, never seen a kid kicking a ball. You could drive tomorrow to my estate, and you could drive down my road, you'll see 20 kids kicking the ball. Right. And I think, some of them things that are instilled in kids, and here everything's very constructive. Like my son plays on a team and he trains with you. And the reason he trains with you is because it's not constructive, it's technical, and it's all that, but it's not like he's just going out and doing that by himself. He comes home
Right.
and does it. But I feel as though everything here is, you got to go with the coach, you got to do this.
Of course.
When I was a kid,
Yeah.
my dad was the coach, or Ben Mack was the coach. You know, Ben McIntyre was Stephen Gerrard's coach for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Gerrard was the England captain, Liverpool captain.
Right.
From 8 to 12, you know, Ben was one of our coaches who was just a dad.
Right.
You know, not with an A license and all this stuff. So I think that's got to improve, and I think there's too many mandates, and I think there's too many rules and regulations.
Do you ever see it happen? Do you ever see us catching up as a world power in football?
Not right now.
Not right now.
I hope so.
Yeah.
You know, I live it and breathe it here. I hope so. I don't see it.